2026 is already looking to be an amazing year for anime. We've got Hell's Paradise Season 2, Frieren Season 2, and Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, all airing in January alone. And while I was watching those newest episodes of JJK on a legal website, I stumbled upon a show that I definitely think deserves to be up there too. A show that I haven't really heard that many people talk about, but I'm sure it's going to get a lot of fans as the season progresses. I'm talking about Sentenced to be a Hero, and oh my god, is it amazing! I mean, just look at this animation! It's so fluid, so dynamic, so opposite of One Punch Man Season 3. I started watching episode 1 at 1 in the morning on a school night, thinking it'd be something quick I could just knock out before going to bed. So tell me why I watch a decent amount of the episode, check the time remaining, and find out it's an hour long. And it aired dub from day one. I'm so glad we brought simulcast into the Big 26. Be warned, this might be the most brutal anime of 2026, so if you like darker shonen like Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen, you're definitely gonna love it. But let's just get into it. Sentenced to be a Hero is based on a light novel and manga of the same name, written by Rocket Shokai and illustrated by Mephisto. The first episode follows Xylo and Dotta, two heroes tasked with protecting a caravan of holy knights as they navigate through a demon blight-infected forest. But why are Xylo and Dotta even helping the church out? They don't seem that thrilled to be there at all. Well, because they're heroes, which isn't exactly as glorious as it sounds. Being a hero is actually the highest form of punishment you could possibly get, left only for the worst of the worst criminals that are too evil for even death itself. See, heroes go on whatever jobs the kingdom tells them to, laying down their lives and fighting on the front line against demons. Their heads even explode Suicide Squad style if they're trying to run away. But even death isn't a relief for heroes, because what makes the hero penalty such a horrible punishment is the fact that even if you die, you'll just be revived to keep fighting, again and again and again.
Heroes are tools with no autonomy. We're here to carry out our missions. And that's all there is to it.
Xylo and Dotta's mission this time around is just to minimize any Holy Knight casualties. Beat up some monsters, get some soldier HUDs, or a farm. It's that simple. I mean, it should be that simple until Dotta's kleptomaniac ass decides to steal a coffin from the Holy Knights, the people they're trying to protect. And to make matters worse, this isn't just your normal coffin with a dead person in it. It's a coffin that happens to house one of humanity's most powerful man-made weapons against the demon blight, a goddess. Meet Teorita, a bundle of sunshine blessed with immense power and a thirst for glorious victory, praise, and head pats, who Xylo absolutely despises. See, for whatever reason, tragic backstory, he hates goddesses and doesn't want to get wrapped up in the trouble that her being with him and Dotta is inevitably going to cause. But seeing as how he can't ditch her, he tags along as he continues to help the Holy Knights, all of which hate him for being a hero. Fast forward like 20-ish minutes, and Xylo is in the thick of an unwinnable battle. The Holy Knight's commander has essentially led her troops into a mass kamikaze, and, despite his best efforts, Xylo is overwhelmed and surrounded by the screams of the knights dying around him. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let everyone around him die, or become Teorita's knight, and accept the burden that comes along with that honor. Ultimately, he picks the latter, and forms a pact with Teorita, the goddess of swords, and is able to win the day with her immense power. But even with the day saved, Xylo has to face the metal. See, him packing with Teorita, even though it saved everyone, was like super duper illegal. And now, he has to face the Holy Knight's wrath. If it sounds like I glossed over a bunch of stuff, that's because I did. And I really want you, yes you, to go and watch Sentenced to be a Hero yourself. I promise. The first episode is just all gas, no breaks, peak. It's amazing. Just go watch it. You'll see, you're gonna love it. I've been playing it in the background this whole time, but Sentenced to be a Hero's animation is genuinely phenomenal. Teorita's introduction, all of the demon blight monsters, every single explosion in the episode, and there are a lot. It's just all eye candy to the highest degree. Even in the most mundane scenes with barely any action, where characters are just talking or reacting to the environment, the animation stays elite. Now, Sentenced to be a Hero does use some CGI, which I know, anime sin. I hate CGI as much as the next person, especially when it's implemented poorly, but it's used really sparsely and just on background characters like the monsters and the NPCs. I feel like oftentimes, once studios start using CGI in their production for cost-cutting measures, it starts sneaking its way into scenes that it has no business being in. Devil May Cry. Who said that? But Sentenced to be a Hero doesn't make that mistake in the slightest. That's all to be expected from Studio Kai, since they're the same people that made the infamous anime horse girl racing anime, Uma Musume. Soon to be a Hero's head animation director, Hiroyuki Takashima, also worked on Chainsaw Man and Mushoku Tensei, so I expect the rest of the show to look just as breathtaking as episode 1. The first episode alone has just has so many set pieces, so much dynamic action, just so much stuff that I was surprised they didn't use CGI for most of it. And if they did, it was so masterfully implemented that I couldn't even tell. But this isn't solo leveling. It's not all just hype moments and aura. The foundation that the first episode lays really gets me excited for the rest of the story going forward. The whole first episode just felt so brisk, and weirdly, watching it felt like I was playing a video game. The narrative has a nice flow to it that's just as dynamic as the action, and it follows the cycle of a standard JRPG. Xylo transitions from fighting hordes of enemies to talking to nameless troops, to fighting hordes of enemies, to talking with the troops' commanders, then fighting hordes of enemies, and finally a boss. It sounds so monotonous the way I'm describing it, but it works surprisingly well. It's funny, cause Xylo fights with the same disregard for inventory that a standard video game protagonist would, chucking his signature exploding lives like he's an unlimited supply of them. It feels just as satisfying watching mow down enemies as it would playing a hack and slash game like God of War or Hades. Hell, he even uses Tearita's power like you would an ultimate ability, saving her godly might for the perfect moment and just raining hell down on his foes. The entire time I was watching the show, it just felt so familiar. But it wasn't until the super creepy bug demon lord fully manifested that I realized why. The heavy medieval influences and militaristic setting paired with the invincible levels of gore and grimdark aesthetic really come together to remind me of Berserk. Now, I'm not the biggest Berserk fan. I'm only like halfway through the original anime and I haven't even touched the manga. But Soon to be a Hero feels like the anime adaptation Berserk has been waiting for. When I say it's Berserk-esque, I'm not just saying that because both series have a brooding edgelord main character. I'm saying that because Soon to be a Hero feels like a classic anime story, just with modern visuals. In a similar vein, its world is super intriguing. While on the surface, it may just look like your standard fantasy anime slop, I think it's having some real depth that flips the genre on its head. The fact that the mindless demon hordes are just regular animals that are possessed, and that the demon blight is portrayed as this evil fungal infection is super cool. I know I kind of glossed over it just now and earlier in the plot summary, but I really love the design of the bug demon lord. It's just so creepy how realistic it is, and its sheer size makes it feel straight out of a Godzilla movie. Really, everything about Soon to be a Hero is genuinely a breath of fresh air, especially its characters. When I first saw Xylo, I thought he was just going to be another archetypical shonen edgelord. Actually, that's a lie. When I first saw him, I thought he was like a soul bad guy, but still. He's brooding, he's edgy, he's always calling someone either an idiot or a moron or both. Probably both. But I think there's some hidden layers to his character. He's an onion, if you will. Throughout the entire episode, Xylo is incredibly nihilistic. Remember, archetypical shonen edgelord. He even says this line.
Fighting for honor's sake. That's a fool's game. My motive is my desire to inflict unfathomable violence.
Which, I'm not gonna lie, made me laugh a little when I first heard it. But at least on the surface, he's portrayed as this jaded soldier, a hero that's been in the game for far too long and is just generally anti-establishment. Man, anti-everyone. But at every given opportunity, he goes out of his way to save the Holy Knights and stop the demon blight. Now, if you asked him, he'd say it's just because that's their job, and he doesn't want to get his head blown off. Remember? Suicide Squad style. But he goes above and beyond to save everyone. He even makes a pact with a literal goddess in order to save the day, knowing that it's going to cause him way more trouble than it's worth down the line. But that's the thing. It's not more trouble than it's worth to him. Xylo's just that guy. He's legendary. After we find out Xylo used to be a holy knight, one that was betrayed by the system no less, it reframes his entire character. It recontextualizes a lot of his edgier scenes and his hatred of the holy knights into this mask he's fronting to hide his pain. This is peak cinema, I'm telling y'all, and I'm really interested to see how his character progresses as the series continues, especially in relation to Tearita. Once the goddess Tearita stepped on screen, I thought she'd just be another annoying lolly meant to rile up the gooners and sell merchandise, where I think she proves herself as an interesting character in her own right. The fact that she's a man-made weapon, built in the image of a revered maiden, paints her fervor for glory and praise in a really tragic light, and makes me think that all the goddesses were designed with a similar personality in mind just to make them more controllable. But on a more positive note, her and Xylo's interaction is just so cute, man. His jaded and grim outlook and her blissful ignorance really complement each other. I know they're finna tear on my heartstrings, but right now, I'm enjoying it. Sadly, it's gonna be a 12 episode season. I know, RIP. Gachi Akuda's got me spoiled with this 24 episode long season. But hey, you best know I'm gonna tune in every Thursday for this peak, okay? I really hope you check out Soon to be a Hero. If my ravings and ramblings haven't convinced you, I don't know, bro. The pictures are pretty and it's hype with aura. I don't know what to tell you. Also, I took so long to make this video that episode 2 came out, so it was pretty good. Go watch that also. But hey, if you liked the video, you should definitely consider liking and subscribing. And while you're down there, comment what other 2026 anime you're looking forward to. Me personally, you know I'm looking forward to that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 Steel Ball Run. But thanks for watching. Do what you gotta do in the doobly-doo, and I'll see you next time. Flash 2008, out.